3, 2, 1. And we are back for segment 9 of our AMC Movie Talk 24-hour marathon for the Philippines Disaster Relief Fund. Listen, guys, if you're not aware, if you're just joining us, we have been doing AMC Movie Talk now for almost 15 hours. We're close, so we are into hour 16. Or hour 15 now. We're getting close to hour 16. It is almost 1 a.m. here in Pacific Standard Time. This show has been going since 10 a.m. this morning, Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining us. And listen, what we are doing here is we are raising money for, like I said, the Philippines Disaster Relief. You'll see below me here a URL to www.crowdrise.com/AMC Movie News Philippines. If that's too much to type into a browser, just look in the description of this video, and there's a link there that you can click that will take you to the donation page where you see a big red button that says Donate Now. Donate money. It goes to a great cause. As you probably know, last month, the strongest typhoon in recorded history hit the Philippines, and it left a lot of people without homes, without clean drinking water, without food. The need is great. And I have a personal attachment to the Philippines. My wife is Filipino, so she tells me at any rate. She could be any one of them Asian people. I don't know. But she's Filipino. We have a lot of family over there. And so it's a cause that's really near and dear to my heart. And I really want you guys to support and be with us. And listen, the support you guys have given us has been outstanding. I mentioned this as we were closing off the last segment, but our original goal was to raise $3,000 by the end of the marathon. And right now we are sitting at over $18,000 thanks to your guys' generosity and what you have been doing. Thank you so much. I'm a wreck. My throat is completely destroyed. I don't know how I'm going to make it, but it doesn't matter. I will stay here as long as you guys are keep donating to this great cause. I'm going to introduce a guy who's joining us here. My friend, my very first producer. When I moved to Los Angeles, the first producer I had for my movie blog Uncut show was, what was it, Now Live we were at?
Yeah,
it was
nowlive.com.
And they had this guy they introduced me to who had this long, shaggy hair.
That's true.
At the time, he really did. Mr. John Green, also known to me as Soul Video. And Soul now, correct me if I'm wrong here, you are now a executive producer and chief financial officer?
Yes,
for the Fine Brothers.
Among many other titles, yes.
For the Fine Brothers. And for those, many of you know who the Fine Brothers are. If you don't recognize the name, there are the masterminds, if you will, Ben and Rafi, who I also met at Now Live so many years ago, who also produced my show for me.
I actually hired Rafi back at Now Live. That's how our friendship began.
Oh, that's right.
And now he runs YouTube, and I work for him. So let that be a lesson to everybody out there in the chat boards and who may be listening to this. Be nice to people, because they could be your boss one day.
Be nice to the people that work for you, because soon you will be working for them.
You never know.
But they were also... They produced my show as well for a while when I was there.
Yeah.
And now Benny and Rafi, they run Kids React,
Teens React,
Seniors React, and of course their online show, My Music, which has won a number of awards. And actually, we've been talking tonight about how the fact that we're going to Vegas because we're up for 2 Academy of Web Television Awards for Best News Series and Best Host. But the Fine Brothers, with My Music and others, are also up for a number of awards at that show.
Yeah, it's and it's crazy. It's been a joyride. We're so thankful for the support and fans we have online, and it's kind of crazy, similar to you guys and what Campia gets to do. It's really wild when you kind of get to work with your friends for a living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a very bizarre and grateful thing. Like, all we do is produce videos for YouTube, similar to John. I mean, I know he tweets and writes articles and stuff too, but literally my job is
I mostly watch
content.
porn all day. Yeah. I mostly watch porn. That's really all I do.
But our job is to put videos out on YouTube, so that's crazy. So Kids React, Teens React, Elders React. Those are the big ones. We also do YouTubers React and Spoilers and My Music. But
can I suggest one? Cats React.
Oh, it would be huge. It would be bigger.
I'm just saying.
It would be bigger than anything else we've done so far.
You should do it just simply because somebody was actually my girlfriend was like, "Hey, check this thing out." And then right under the thing I just watched, it was a cat. It was a cat drinking champagne, but right under it was a link to all these cat videos, and I'm like, it's still just like it was 5-10 years ago. Well, everyone loves watching cats and dogs do things.
A big part of My Music, for those of you who may not know, was this whole towards the end of 2011, Google decided to get in the premium content business. So similar to how you have House of Cards on Netflix and Hulu has their own series and AOL and Yahoo, they all are paying for their own content. So Google's like, oh man, we've got this giant YouTube site. Let's make our own content, or at least sign deals with people so that we have exclusivity for longer and stuff like that. And so they funded 100 channels, and luckily enough, and the Fine Brothers were big enough that my music was one of those channels, and we got to do this year-long web sitcom where every week for a year we put up another episode of this thing, and it's just grown bigger and bigger, and and we're in the second year of this second season of the show, and it's just it's a blast.
And did you? I know YouTube or at least Google through their first year they didn't follow through with a lot of the some of the things that they were doing. Did they follow through with what you guys were doing?
Yeah, we were one of the 30% of the channel. I think it was about 30% or so that got renewed.
I was going to say, as big numbers equals
But a big part of that was YouTube trying to be like, hey, advertisers, like, we're not all cat videos. Like, I know we've got a lot of cat videos, and that's what we're good for, but we're seriously, like, it's not all people getting kicked in the nuts in cat videos. Like, we can do some really quality stuff here that maybe you should give us a little more monies for. So that was part of this grand experiment. And you're seeing a lot of people starting to spend more and more money online because the legitimacy of the platform, I think, is beyond proven at this point. And
it's funny to put this in perspective. We celebrate the fact, and we should celebrate the fact that we've crossed 125,000 subscribers for all that kind of stuff. Blah blah blah. So, how many subscribers are there on the on your Fine Brothers channel?
I think it's roughly 6.7 million.
6.7 million.
That's quite a lot of people.
But before you start feeling bad about yourself, Cam, you have to understand that the brothers that I work with have been putting out content on YouTube for a decade at this point.
Yeah,
what I mean? They were there in 2003 making like Lost action figure parodies and all this
I still
other
remember
stuff.
those.
So,
yeah.
So really, if anybody's out there, like you're really trying to, succeed online, especially on a site like YouTube, you just have to be willing to like put in the work.
Are you using the P word, perseverance?
Oh, like a ridiculous mofo. You have to like a year. I'm talking about 2 or 3 years, part to full time before you can even hope of turning that into anything reasonable for yourself. So when you have this kind of success that AMC has on YouTube, where and even sprouting up over 100,000 subscribers so quickly, and you got to take that as a huge feather in your hat. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you so much. We're really glad you're here.
In large part to all these beautiful people that are hanging out with you in the middle of the night to
donate and
on
the East Coast, it is almost 4 a.m. on the East Coast, and we just started. This will be up to over 1,000 people soon. We've over 500 people right now because we just started the stream at 4 a.m, 1 a.m, whatever. Thank you guys for being here.
Anybody that's watching this stream right now, does anybody remember Movie Blog Uncut Live?
Phil G is in here right now. Phil G, who goes all the way back to the old days of the Movie Blog.
Yeah. Listen here, chaps.
And he said chaps, so he's in there. But he was producing that show, and he's been on.
That was a good time. We were back when web video was in its infancy, when there was and Ustream was just starting up, and Stick'em and Blog, Talk Radio, and all these. I was trying to think. We were one of the youngins, who unfortunately didn't quite make it all the way, but we were like, web video, that's really interesting. Let's do live, in web content. And we had Campia. I remember. I don't know how we came across you, but I think there was just something like I was.
You guys did Marty Keegan's Hollywood Babylon.
Oh, and you were a guest on.
And Marty invited me down to L.A. as a guest on his show. That's how we met. Then the guys at Now Live realized I was running the Movie Blog and said, "You should do a show too." And we started a show when I moved down to L.A. And that was my introduction down here.
That was great.
Good times. All right, guys, we are going to get to some more questions here in the chat board and Souls. And yes, don't adjust your TVs. It is John, and John. There are 3, but it's just Soul and John.
Although only 2 of us spell our name correctly. Let's point that out.
J-O-N-J-O-N.
One
of us actually spells it the sane way with no H. These other weirdos.
No.
These other weirdos.
I was aligning myself with you.
What? You're J-O-N?
Yes.
Oh,
I was blaming him. Yeah.
One of us is crazy. Okay. 2 of us are,
So
I
apparently,
didn't know you were a JON. I've always had to fight that H. People
I understand.
always chuck that H in there, as I'm sure you're aware.
this is what I have to deal with every day. All right, let's get to the questions. The first question on tap right now comes from Michael Reap. And Michael donated to the cause. Thank you so much for your donation, Michael. And Michael asks, hey, love the show and love this cause. My question is really not about movies and more about you guys. Okay.
Great. One I can answer.
I have always wondered what your guys' jobs entail.
Sweeping up, cleaning up the toilets, lots of dirt, and crying in a corner.
We know John Campea is director and chief of AMC Movie News, but what does that mean? Also thought this would be a nice break from all the superhero questions that I'm assuming you've been answering for hours and hours and hours and hours. Thank you very much for the okay. So, well, I'll just describe.
I can also answer for Dennis, but you can answer for yourself.
Sure. Well, I'll answer for Schnepp first.
Okay.
I'll speak on
you
Schnepp.
answer for Campea.
And I'll answer
you
for
answer
Campea.
for Schnepp. I'll answer for Dennis.
Schnepp, once again, we're giving you a little bit of a look behind the curtain here at AMC Movie Talk. But Schnepp, I first met Schnepp just after they announced the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And I was looking for somebody who knew a lot more about the Guardians of the Galaxy than I did to come on and be a guest on the show so we could talk about it. And a mutual friend of Schnepp and mine pointed me towards Schnepp, and we connected, and he came on the show, and he was great. And then he just started coming on the show a lot. Plugging the death of Superman Lives What Happened a lot. Yeah. And I think we played a small part in helping that reach its amazing goal, which we can't wait to watch. The Death of Superman Lives What Happened. Keep your eye. I believe the trailer's not online yet, right?
Not yet. January 15th.
January 15th, the trailer comes online, so keep your eye open for that. So he just started doing like two times a week, sometimes even 3 times a week. And then not too long ago, I just talked to John and I said, look, let's make this official. Like, you need to be on the team officially. Come on board. And so he came on board. So John's real role is just to be a commentator on the movie news, and that's his role with us. You got people like Ashley, who her role is to be the host of AMC Movie Talk. She reads all the movie news stories and keeps the show moving and stuff like that. Chris Lee does that as well, but Chris Lee also does some extra stuff for us. She does some red carpets. She does some celebrity interviews. Erin Darling does, she's a correspondent for us. She does some special editorial stuff that you're going to be seeing coming up here soon, as well as being a regular commentator on AMC Movie Talk, and also does some red carpet stuff for us as well. Amy Rose Eisenbach is like there's my right and my left hand. Amy Rose Eisenbach is like my right hand. She's the movie news editor. She does all the movie news posting for our blog. She's obviously also one of the people on AMC Movie Talk. She coordinates all the staff. She coordinates my schedule. I can't do my job without her there. And then Dennis Zen, he's kind of my left hand. His official title is production manager, but he's a lot more than that. He's a regular contributor on AMC Movie Talk, obviously. He is kind of in charge of the production of all the stuff that we do. So all the editing, post-production, getting things online, that sort of thing. He's kind of in charge of all of that, as well as numerous other things that we need him to do. And then my job is mostly watching porn.
All right, John Campea. John Campea. When I met him, like I hadn't heard of. It was at that point called For Your Consideration, mm-hmm. And I think you guys were rocking it like twice a week. It wasn't
sometimes once a week, sometimes twice a week.
Yeah. So I came on and did this thing, and it was really fun. Like someone like me, like I'd been directing cartoons for like the last 15 years, doing occasional live action things like Upright Citizens Brigade, but mainly just working in the TV realm as a director and coming on. But I'm a comic nerd. I'm a film nerd. I'm a sci-fi nerd. So coming on this show when it was For Your Consideration to me was like so exciting to meet other people who like to talk about this stuff, because we go in sometimes into such extra sweaty, deep, weird detail that it's only like ultra true nerds and be like, yes, Wolverine number 181, the first appearance when he was fighting the Hulk. Wendigo was in the issue before and he was only in one panel. Like weird. That's not weird anymore, unfortunately. It was like maybe like obtuse information like 10 years ago. Now we'd have to talk about Devil Dinosaur or something to really stagger you nerds. But it was, film-wise, it was just really fun to just talk about movies. And also be able to talk about movies and talk with other people who have like the depth of knowledge of cinema.
Yeah.
Not just the present, but also the past, which is really important if you really want to know about movies you have to actually watch movies and not just watch the last 5 years of movie or the last 10 years of movies, not just 80s films. You have to go back into the 70s and in the 60s and the 50s and the 40s. And it's not just watching Citizen Kane. It's watching, or It's a Wonderful Life, but those are great places to start. But I'm just saying film is vast and it's great and it's a cumulative knowledge. The more you watch, the more you learn and the smarter you get, and then you understand storytelling. So, I mean,
so what you're trying to say is that when you were on the show and you were experiencing that, you were like, wow, this is such an empty shell of knowledge that has the potential to sponge and absorb the genius that is inside my head.
I wish
he can be molded into anything I want. Look at his face. There's nothing there. There's nothing behind these eyes.
John Campea is a resource, and he's a great giant filled sponge dripping with knowledge. So, and it's fun because though sometimes we'll argue about certain things, we always understand where we're coming from, which is great. Yeah. And that's a really important thing as far as film criticism or just even talking about movies, is no one's ever right or wrong. It's an opinion-based world, as whether you thought this one movie sucked or this one movie was the best movie ever. Other people are going to argue that. And it's cool to have friendly arguments, I think.
Well, I mean, like, seriously, when we shoot AMC Movie Talk at the studio, quite almost every day, if it wasn't for the fact that we park in 1 hour parking and we have to get out of there, but almost every day we walk out of the main shooting area into the lobby of the studio and we just start going and we start talking about, maybe we mentioned the original Jaws on that show and we'll go out there and we'll just start talking about the original Jaws and the evolution of shark movies from there, blah, 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 and we'll just get going and going and going. If it wasn't for the fact that one of us has got to go, crap, my 1 hour parking is almost that we got to leave, we'd probably end up staying there for
John Campea, that's how I met him, and I started coming back on the show, and I slowly discovered that this man, I don't know when he sleeps, he's like a bat or something, because he wakes
Canadians
up.
don't sleep.
They don't sleep, right? No. They just eat these water tablets.
We're like vampires.
They have this, they swallow this capsule that allows them to stay awake
lay
for 3
flat
months.
Made of pure maple syrup.
Have you seen Coneheads, right? They sleep standing up once every 3 months.
Right.
They sleep for 6 hours.
There's a lot of quick swallowing, but they're still awake. So I found out that this guy gets up super early in the morning, like beyond, like I can't even begin to understand how you get up at 5 or 4:30 in the morning. But he'll scour the internet for information. He'll write up all those questions that you always see on the sides, where you see, let's talk about Darth Vader. Is he going to be in episode 1? Or we just heard about this one guy. Is he going to be cast as this one character? We just saw this trailer drop, this and that. So he'll get all this information together. It'll take a couple hours, and then he'll get it out to all of us. We get that. You usually get the questions and what the show is going to be about, like around 8:30 or 9.
Right.
He gets all those formed together. He'll send out Dennis like a thing, like, hey, can you get screencast for this or that? Then he'll make his way down, and now we're shooting in Hollywood, so it's farther away from Campea Land, which we're in now.
Right, which is a subsidiary of Burbank, California. The tax codes are much looser.
It's
here.
a little different here in Campea Land, also known as Studio B. But, so... Or as one of the guys likes to call you, Campy, which I always love. I was like, well, John Campy, the one thing that I couldn't stop watching that video, why does he call him Campy when everyone should know it's Campea? Whatever. Just call him Campy.
I'm going to call him Campy from now on.
That's why I coined this place Campy Land. It's a little like Candy Land. But I've got a lot of respect for you. I mean, you put together a great show, and it's always a fun time for us to, I'll get that information. If it's something I don't know right off the bat, I'll do a little research. Just be, right, that's a movie the guy was in or whatnot, just so I have a talking point. And there's always a really fun and entertaining show to be a part of. So that's why I was really happy. I just kept doing it because they kept saying, hey, we like having you on the show. Come on. Had some perks, get some free movies. And ultimately, like a couple months ago, John asked me to become a part of the show. And of course, I said yes. I mean, having been mainly just working as like a behind-the-scenes person and directing stuff and mainly cartoons, being able to come in front of the camera and just talk about my opinions has really been like a kind of a weird newfound career and freedom that I've always, when I was younger, I was an actor and I was in a bunch of music videos and did a lot of acting when I was in my 20s and just kind of was like, I'd rather do behind-the-scenes stuff. But you know what? Being in front of the camera and just talking about movies and getting the reactions from all of the fans and answering their questions and seeing what their interests are, it's just been a blast. And I mean, I really love doing this. I never thought I would. And it really has just been a really fun thing. So, and it's great to have a leader like John Campea. It's like somebody who's like working to make this information get to the masses in a really nice, digestible way, but also in a way that we can all all talk about it and not be kind of logged down. I think there's a lot of freedom in being able to discuss the movies that we're into, especially AMC has like a really nice spread, and this is the part where they've paid me to say this. No, I'm just saying AMC is actually, they're bringing in Bollywood films. Like I went out of my way to go see Krish 3 because I had seen the trailer. I was like, this looks bonkers. How am I going to get to see this? And I didn't even know it was playing at AMC. And when I found out, what do you mean it's playing at AMC? And I went to go see it, and I loved it. It was so much fun. So it's great to see different kinds of films getting their chance in the theater. I mean, obviously, like the good thing about having a bunch of different theaters is one can play all the blockbusters, another one can cater to some of the foreign films and independent films, and then everyone has a place to go. You're like, hey, if I want to see Dallas Buyers Club, or if I want to see any of these smaller films that aren't Thor 2 or Frozen or the new Hobbit 2, they're playing in the theater. It might not be in the giant super megadome IMAX screens, but they're not even made to be in IMAX. So you get that in I guess what I'm trying to say is you get to see a lot of different films that are being played at AMC, and so that's why I appreciate just the theaters in general, being able to go to any one of the theaters that I usually go to. I mean, it's a fun thing to be involved in. So that's why John Campea is a really important facet to all you guys. If you don't know he works all day and all night, and then he goes to premieres, watches movies at night. So that's what I mean. He really doesn't sleep. I don't think he does.
My wife will attest to that. My wife is sleeping now. She's like, "When are you taking a break?" So we're going to 10 a.m., baby.
I'm sorry. While Schnepp was talking, I was just distracted looking at the webcam feed of how much he looks like a really like metally Louis C.K. in this little box here. Like he looks like if Louis C.K. just started going to a lot of metal shows or something, that's what he would turn into in this little window. Is what I'm saying.
Goes, yeah.
Right? Tell me, people in the chat board, tell me he doesn't look like a really metally.
Are you talking about me?
Yes.
What you thought I was talking?
I don't know. I was like, wait a minute. I guess can I get?
I don't look much like a metalhead.
I would just like a little small taste of that Louis C.K. money, guys. Can I get up? Yeah.
All right, let's
Metal
get on
Louis
to our
CK.
next question here. We got a whole
That's a
bunch
pull
to cover.
quote for your Superman.
That's right.
film.
I was called
Directed-
a metal Louis C.K.
Known as the metal Louis C.K.
The metal Louis C.K. I'll take it.
All right, the next question comes to us from Alaska Miata Club, who donated to the cause. Thank you so much, Alaska.
I wonder if they actually have a Miata Club.
It's
in Alaska.
possible.
That seems like a really terrible vehicle to be driving around in Alaska.
That's right.
I feel like you can't get really substantial snow tires on a Miata, but if there is a club, God bless you.
All
Those
right,
tires
here's
are
the
chained
question.
up. Got chains rocked them around.
The question is, what was your favorite Dungeons & Dragons character that you played, or were you a dungeon master? Well, I did play Dungeons & Dragons. Did either of you guys play D&D? You played D&D? Did you ever play D&D?
Only a few times, but I loved just the categories. I loved the sense, or not the sense, but I loved the ability of being like chaotic evil or chaotic neutral. It just seemed like so, and fascinating to me that these personalities existed. And I feel like what is Schnepp's actual personality within that matrix of
my go-to was usually a barbarian, thuggish, chaotic evil.
Okay, so you just
usually,
went,
I was
straight for like evil, the evil spectrum.
Yeah, and I was the guy who was like, the dungeon master. You just entered a bar. You walk up to the barkeep. I kill the barkeep. I roll to. No, don't do that. You want to ask questions? No, I want to roll to stab the barkeep. I know, but there's guards outside. I will roll to kill them. Cut to me in prison with all the other dudes. They're angry at me and trying to figure out how to destroy me and get the rest of my gold.
That seems like a pretty great way to make
I can attest to this is the way he plays, because a few weeks ago we were doing we were recording a bunch of AMC mailbag shows on one day. We were recording like 4 episodes in a row because we had I can't remember what we were doing, but either I was going to be away or a few people were going to be away, so we recorded some shows in advance, and we were all here at my place. And in between shows, we had a couple people in here filming and a couple people out in the living room, hanging out, eating, drinking, just relaxing. Then we'd swap out. And as I go out there, Schnepp had found our Xbox 360, and Ann had just bought Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, 5, and I hadn't played it yet, so I was really excited.
So he's on my Xbox because he didn't get
Chaotic Evil about to come
Here
out?
we go. And he's like playing, and I go, "Oh, this is cool." I said, "Like, what can you do?" He goes, "Well," Schnepp's like, "Well, you're just the guy. You can pretty much just walk around the world, see the city, do whatever you want to do." I'm like, "Cool." And he's on this street with his character crossing the road, and crossing the road the other way was a pregnant woman. And instantly, I'm just watching his character walking across the street and then turn and start beating up the pregnant woman. I'm like, "Dude, are you killing a pregnant woman?" He goes, "Yeah." It's like I totally see you role playing now that way. That you mentioned that.
Well, and then I stole a bus with an entire group of seniors
you
on it
did.
and drove it off a cliff.
Yes.
You came in after I had just pretty much murdered like 600 people, just randomly, and I had gotten in a car, just drove along the sidewalk, just watching boop, 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 bodies go flying.
What Schnepp doesn't realize is that there actually is a game storyline to Grand Theft Auto 5, which he would never experience.
No, I'm
even
not.
After 100 hours of gameplay.
No, I don't play the game part like that. It's open terrain. I'm like, I drive up a mountain until I find another area. I was like, wow, I found a place with like this weird sewage cleaning system, and they've got a plane. I take the plane. Anyone's there, I kill them. I steal the plane. Cops are after me. They blow me up. And I start over.
I played 3 role-playing games. I played Dungeons & Dragons. I played DC Heroes, which was a D10 superhero system. That was a lot of fun, actually. And the West End Games version of Star Wars, the role-playing game. I was always the game master for Star Wars and for DC Heroes, so I didn't get a lot of playing time with that. But with with Dungeons & Dragons, I kid you not, I was a wizard named Zap. That was the most creative name I could come up with.
2 P's or 1?
1 P,
Okay.
just Zap.
5 Z's, though. You don't
And
give him enough credit.
I'll let you guess what his main spell of choice was.
Lightning!
Yes, sir. Lightning. And I played that character for a very, very long time. Oh, no, and that's not necessarily true. I did play DC Heroes for quite a while, and my character's name was one of my nicknames from high school was Rampage. So I had this character named Rampage. He was a Batman-type character, and I played him for about 3 years, actually, until eventually I turned him villain. And then used him as an NPC when I was game mastering. But now we're speaking a geek language that very few ancient elves understand.
RPG. Actually, talking video games, I did successfully play Knights of the Old Republic, both as evil, which I went first, totally Sith style. Then I played it completely doing the Jedi stuff, which I found not as satisfying.
Just against your very
yeah, it was
core
kind of
nature.
against it. I was like, oh, could you please help me find this weird Tusken Raiders? Yeah, I guess so. It's hurting me. Hurts to. Yes, I will accept your quest.
In front of you.
I know.
All right, next
question.
question.
Amazing.
Next question comes to us from Tyler Eklund, and Tyler donated to the cause. Thank you so much, Tyler. And Tyler writes, "Hey, AMC Movie Talk, big fan of the show. Been watching for almost a full year. When do you think the first trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy will come out?" It's got to be soon. I mean, they had a test teaser thing that they played at Comic-Con 5 months ago. So,
Captain America, when that drops, that's in April. Why not? They'll probably attach it to that.
it's got to come before that.
Well, it opens in August. So.
The stills that have been coming out and going everywhere online have been like progressing. I don't know if Vin Diesel's, if that was like the first still that really came out, and then you saw the whole lineup. So I feel like they're progressing. I don't see them like stalling until then, like unless they just keep releasing more and more stills. But I don't know.
January, February, March, April. It could. I mean, maybe they'll premiere it at WonderCon in March.
Maybe. I got a feeling. Honestly, I got a feeling it's going to come out in February. I really do. I think it's time for them to put that out. It's been a long time. They've had some test footage. They've had that teaser trailer sitting in their pockets for a long time. Right. And look, and it is customary lately that when a movie puts out its first still, it's usually like within 48 to 72 hours that they drop a first teaser trailer. Right. I'm not saying we're going to see Guardians of the Galaxy teaser trailer in the next 48 hours, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I will be shocked if we don't see it by the end of February.
Certainly, I would love to see
it. You're talking about a teaser.
Teaser, yeah.
Well, I mean, the Comic-Con footage that some of it leaked online.
Yeah.
All that footage looked great, and that's in the can, and they already have it all cut.
And they can just release that. They can just release it. I think they're going to release it soon. All right, let's move on to the next question here. And the next question, Chia Itana S. Bahat Right.
I'm definitely sure you're not murdering that.
I'm probably murdering that 5 times left to sideways. Reap what you sow. Much respect to you guys for doing this in loving memory of everyone we lost in 2013. Rest in peace. Great comment. Thank you so much. John Reindow writes, Momoa as Hawkman in Man of Steel 2? And do you think when the DC Universe film franchise in order that we could see Blackest Night on the big screen? I've talked about this before. I don't think we'll see a Blackest Night on the big screen anytime soon. No. Very cool comic book series, but there's way too much groundwork that needs to be laid before you get to something like that, and they are simply not at that point. Momoa's Hawkman, I don't believe we're going to see Hawkman. If we were to see Hawkman, I'd be down for Momoa's Hawkman. He made a pretty good Hawkman.
I mean, wouldn't that be incredible? I mean, that seems like, wow. I mean, already kind of worried about all these characters being introduced in Batman versus Superman. You got Wonder Woman. Are you going to have, I mean, Hawkman's from Thanagar. Are you going to is it going to just be a blip like, yes, and look, we have Martian Manhunter from Mars. We have this other entire universe that also has a planet called Thanagar. And here's this dude with wings, Hawkman. Also, you're like, oh, come on. I don't know.
Are you saying it's ambitious?
Not just, I think, I would love to see him play Hawkman, but it's just all crammed into one movie where, you know, boy, he would be a great Hawkman, but I certainly hope he's not playing Hawkman. That's all I can say.
I just want to mention this here that Paul Garcia has made a donation of $150.
Oh, right on.
To the thing. Now, he didn't, however, put in any information or where to reach us. So I will check the email later and see if he's come through. I will check that right now. Anyway, so what do you think about Hawkman?
Well, I'm ill-equipped to answer this question, other than my thoughts on Dear Jason. But
what do you think about dudes with wings?
They can be awesome. That's
right.
I mean, the I, Frankenstein movie seems to have a lot of...
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I was going to say, are you going to talk about Legion? Dudes with wings.
I feel like there have just been a lot of Legion-y movies recently. It seems like it's almost like a Photoshop filter that you can apply to a movie.
Yeah.
That's the underworld drop-down filter. Right. We've got some demon angels. We've got to use the underworld filter, and we're good.
That adds strange little spiky crosses and Art Nouveau stylings and blue filters. Yes. And some people get wings. Some other people get like kind of really cool Bauhaus goth look. It's just instantly wraps them.
It's all in. I mean, as anything goes, it's all in how that is designed. You know what I mean? You can make some truly like cryptic, badass wings on a character, or you can make some like goofy angel bird wings,
right?
And that have been represented in a lot of cartoons in earlier comics. So. I mean, if it's weighted towards the badass angle, then how can you not get behind it?
I'm going to throw this in here. Okay, so Paul Garcia did reach out to us. I've sent you his mailing address, and he said, just donated to the cause. I'm watching you from my theater, waiting for the last guest to leave for the night. I just sent a tweet to Schnepp regarding my sketch. Please, Batman, any era. Just wanted to send a follow-up email, and then it got his address. I forwarded it to you, Schnepp.
Paul Garcia, I'm so happy that you picked Batman. I love drawing Batman. And I'm going to draw an awesome Batman.
Does that include Adam West?
Oh, well, yeah. It includes Adam West when I was like 3 years old. That's the only Batman that I knew. So,
just a big like wham across.
I know. I think Paul Garcia, I will not draw the Adam West Batman. It was probably
that would have been my choice, Paul.
Some version in the 2000s of Batman. So.
All right, let's move on to the next question then that we've got in here.
And thank you so much for donating $150.
Yes, that's an awesome donation. Thank you so much. Okay. Adrian Hill, who contributed, thank you so much for your contribution, Adrian. And Adrian writes, Sons and Daughters of AMC, this is a great cause. I am a United States Marine currently stationed in Luxembourg, and I have visited the Philippines a few times during my deployment. The people have always welcomed me with open arms, and if this is the least I can do to repay their kindness, I am honored. Thank you, AMC Movie Talk crew, for putting this on and giving me my daily fix of movie news and chat. Well, Adrian, first of all, thank you for your service, to this country and to the other countries around the world that you're stationed at. Thank you so much. And thank you for your generosity in contributing to the cause. Thank you very much. Next question comes to us from Antonio Quinones. Anybody want to take a shot at this name? This last name?
No, I think you got it.
Antonio writes, who donated to the cause, by the way. Thank you so much for your donation, Antonio. Hey, guys, love the show. It's become my place for movie news. So if everything goes good with Batman vs. Superman and Justice League, and we finally get a Wonder Woman movie, who do you think would be a good villain for it? Thanks, and keep up the good work. So if we're talking about a Wonder Woman film, who do we see as being a good villain for Wonder Woman? Schnepp, who could be a good villain?
Let's see. I believe her name is Artemia. And she's an Amazonian, and she's, I believe, a red-haired Amazonian who challenges Diana to take over.
Artemis.
Yeah, Artemis. Thank you.
Yes.
Yep. I think that would be really cool.
Well, it goes further than that. In that storyline, there was a period, much like Batman had his back broken for a period of time, and Jean-Paul took over the mantle of the Bat for a while. Artemis challenges Diana on the island, and she actually defeats Diana
to become the new Wonder Woman,
and she becomes Wonder Woman for a while. And then Diana goes by a different name for a while. That's when she started wearing the biker shorts. Remember that for a while?
Yeah.
But Artemis was Wonder Woman for a while,
right?
And
I think drawn by Mike Diodo.
Right.
Diodoto. Yeah.
And I can't remember the chain of events that led to Artemis relinquishing the Wonder Woman thing back to Diana. But so you could see her as a villain.
Yeah, most definitely. Maybe not in the first movie, but I don't think they're going to bring in Mars, who was Wonder Woman's like original villain, like from the planet Mars. Like it was like I don't think Mars is going to be in there right off the bat. I wonder though. I mean, Cheetah. I don't know if she's going to be right off the bat. I think it could possibly be the first movie. Wonder Woman would be more of an origin style, film. I don't know if they're going to use Wonder Woman's original origin where she's like made from clay, I kind of think they're going to skip that part and just be like, yeah, she's the,
Why not just tie another universe
I'm
in,
gonna,
like you were saying?
I'm going to kick this in here quick. Grant Jeffers has also donated $150 to the cause. And he said, thanks for doing this. Like your best rendition of Nebula, as you hope she will look in the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy movie. If you need a second option, I'd like Red Hulk, your favorite. Thanks again.
Again, could have gone with Adam West Batman, did not. I mean, I guess he's got to draw what you suggested.
And since they're from the same universe, I might do Nebula and the Red Hulk in the same drawing. That would be pretty cool. I would love to draw the Red Hulk and Nebula, so I think I'm going to do both.
Okay, so I forwarded that email to you as well. So now we got
thank you, Grant.
Nebula, Red Hulk, and Batman. Probably not Adam West.
Not Adam West.
By the way, if you guys are just tuning in, you don't know who I am, obviously, but that's not important. What is important is that I've got John Schnepp sitting right next to me, and he offered to draw for the first 5 people that donated $150 to the charity. He's drawing whatever you want him to draw. This guy, you know him. And apparently he's really good at drawing. So you should definitely, if you've got, and if you happen to be in a place where you've got the funds, and think of how cool this thing would be to have him draw anything you want. And, and
remember, I could also draw any of the members of Death Clock. They're the characters I created and designed. So
Metalocalypse.
If you want a murder face, let me know. But I'm also really happy to draw you a Batman or a Red Hulk or a Joker, or whoever you want me to draw. I will draw it for you.
All right, it's time to move on to the next question. Will Daniel donated and just left a comment, said, great show and great cause. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Will. Garrett Farney donated. Thank you so much for your donation, Garrett. And Garrett says, thanks for everything you guys do. Your awesome AMC crew. Question. With Paul Rudd / Ant-Man casted and coming our way, will Janet / Wasp be in it? And would it be too early to possibly have them talk about Wakanda and their technology, or have Black Panther have a cameo?
There's a lot of questions.
Thanks,
here.
and keep up the good work. Okay, the first one, we kind of had this Ant-Man question earlier about could we see Wasp. I'll tell the story again. Me and Chris Lee Kennedy, we went to a special screening of Avengers maybe 6 months ago at the Directors Guild of America, and Joss Whedon was there to introduce the film and do a Q&A after the film. And during the Q&A, they asked him about, was there anything different about your original draft of the script that Marvel wanted you to change? And Joss Whedon said this. He goes, well, let's just say that the first draft of my script was very waspy. And later on, he basically revealed that his first draft of the script had Wasp and did not have Black Widow. He didn't have Black Widow or have her in his plans for Avengers. Kevin Feige, Marvel said, no, we want Black Widow. So he took out Wasp, put in Black Widow. I would be shocked, now that they're bringing Ant-Man into it, if we don't see Wasp. I almost guarantee we'll see Wasp. Wakanda's been mentioned. Just briefly, almost like an Easter egg, but it's been mentioned. I don't think Black Panther would cameo in an Ant-Man. That's not a great fit. We're going to see, I have no doubt that we're going to see Black Panther soon. Yeah. So we will soon see Black Panther. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah, wasn't Wakanda on one of the screens in S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like they also mentioned
and that's
vibranium.
Vibranium. Wakanda is the main source of vibranium. So,
yeah.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. And once again, we're speaking deep geek right now. Deep geek.
I believe you humans should call it vibranium. It's not adamantium. That's the Wolverine.
Okay, this is how far behind we are on getting to these questions, because they're just coming in more than we anticipated. This one came to us over 4 hours ago. It says, hey guys, almost to 15,000. Well, actually, we're well beyond 15,000 now, but almost to 15,000.
What you don't realize is it's dropped down. People have removed
taken their money back. All right, where were we here? Okay, Ethan Gallagher writes, hey guys, almost to 15,000. Which obviously we're beyond 18,000 now, but if it's not too much to ask, my question kind of varies by who is on at the time. But I'd really like to get a job that has something to do with film. I was wondering how Schnepp got his job as a director, or how Amy Rose got her job at AMC. What kind of steps do I need to carry that?
So there was a Craigslist posting that was create and direct your own show for Adult Swim, and you were like, this sounds perfect for me. I've kind of doodled a lot in like high school and college. Let's go for it. And you basically you hit the interview out of the park.
I did.
They brought him back, and you got the show.
Yeah, it was weird too, because I had a cold and I blew my nose on this piece of a napkin, and then I was like, while I can't remember, a pencil was in my hand. I kind of was like, and a weird smudge happened, and one of the people was like, wow, that looks like a heavy metal band. I was like, it was really weird the way that.
Well, listen, Schnepp, seriously, for a lot of people who don't know, I mean, we've talked a little about that you're a writer and a director, you've worked in a lot of animated shows, but for people, we mentioned your work on Metalocalypse a lot. It's part of your lower third on the show.
Right.
The years that you worked and directed Metalocalypse. So what are some of the other things that you've worked on that maybe people don't know about right now?
In the late 90s is when my career really started, and it all happened by putting in the work. Like John was saying, it's perseverance. I was working really kind of as a production assistant, a PA, which what that means usually is like
anything.
Humpy, he might go get some coffee. But for me, it was more like, hey, I was like a problem solver, because I was like a weirdo, just an artist who like would hang out at this music video company that my friends ran. And they liked having me around. They were like, hey, he's like real creative. He knows how to do animation. I would do copy stand stuff and build like weird like oil and water rigs that we could rotate in front of the camera for music videos. And I started acting in the music videos. Like you could see me in an Iron Maiden video. I'll remember what it's called in a minute, but Ozzy Osbourne therapy video. I played a mad scientist. I was in a Metallica video.
Sorry,
what's that?
All right, there is another $150 donation.
All right.
But it is what he has requested.
Yes.
That is what has sidetracked your beautiful story of how you got your dream job.
Okay,
it comes to us from a mutual friend of ours whose real name, by the way, is Chuck Norris.
Awesome.
Who's actually the editor on my film, The Anniversary. I met Chuck at the same time that I met Dennis Zen. Actually, they were working with me on one of my shows, not at the same studio that you were at.
Can't be abandon my company for the greener pastures of live video, which was at the time his producers were Dennis and Chuck, who were putting on the movie blog Uncut 2.0.
Right on.
The new and improver. But anyway, Chuck is still a buddy of ours. And so Chuck Norris just donated $150. And here's his request, Schnepp.
All right.
Chuck Norris requests, I want Johnny Green as Wonder Woman alongside a disgusted Campia Batman.
Chuck Norris, I will do that drawing for you. Thank you so much for contributing $150 to the Philippines relief.
That is thanks a lot, Chuck. I appreciate that.
For those just, in watching the live stream, Chuck is a mutual friend of Campia and myself, and he has just paid $150 to get this talented gentleman to draw me as Wonder Woman and him as a disgusted Batman, so that every time I go to his house for football or something else, I'm going to have to look at myself.
Yeah. I'm going to get the pictures right now.
Okay. Oh, he's getting
reference. There he goes.
He's getting reference.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. Your face first of like a very pretty Wonder Woman. And then look over towards Campia. No, but keep your face towards me and do that. And now look just with your eyes at Campia. There we go.
Guys, this is the type of stuff you can expect at 1:30 in the morning when we've been doing this for 16 hours.
You're kind of keep your face towards me, but like a disgusted eye side glance. Even more disgusted. All right, and now really disgusted. Big. And just turn your face a little towards me. Awesome.
Why do I get a feeling that's going to become your new profile picture? That you just
No, it's going to be Chuck's new profile picture. I'm going to have to look at it every time he comments on one of my Facebook posts.
Chuck, I will not take that as my profile. I'm saving it for you, buddy. All right, and thanks for contributing once again.
Like I said, guys, this is what you can expect after 16 some odd hours at 1:30 in the morning of us doing this.
All right,
stuff.
so I was telling my sad tale.
What other jobs have you worked on? What other?
No, he was saying how, because the question was how
do you break in?
Yeah,
so I started working. I just was a production assistant that slowly worked my way up over the course of a year to doing backgrounds for music videos, acting in music videos, and then. I did my own production, and through this company, I made like a really crazy science fiction
comedy. I got to interrupt you again.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Armando Pena has just donated $200.
Wow. Mondo,
to
awesome.
the fundraiser. And where is the thing? I will forward to you his stuff here in just a minute. Blah blah blah. I'll check the inbox and stuff like that and see where we're at. But thank you, a $200 donation. I believe
that's amazing.
That puts you up to 4.
Yeah.
There's room for one more, guys.
Yep.
Snep will take one more if you want to donate $150. He will do a drawing and autograph it for you, whatever you want. So there you go. Anyway, by all means, continue with your story.
So yeah, I was just doing a bunch of like music video stuff and wrote and ended up creating and directing a project with a good pal of mine through this music video company. We've never released it. We did like 3 half-hour episodes, but we ended up meeting a bunch of actors and amazing talented people. And from that, a bunch of other projects grew from it. It was originally called Mad Science. I ended up getting to work with Del Close, who introduced me to all the future Upright Citizen Brigade, like Matt Besser and Ian Roberts. I became pals with all those guys. And eventually, like several years later, this was back in the early 90s, when the Uprights finally got their show, they had hired me and my small company in Chicago to design their sets for HBO. And then when they got it sold to Comedy Central, they're like, look, dude, we want you to direct the pilot. So it was really literally, but I didn't know them until I met them in 1993 through Del Close. So this one, early 20s, everybody was all hanging out in Chicago, and I was working with a bunch of different people. So
I think your story is, is a common one, at least for people that are passionate and trying to get a foothold in the industry. And the common denominator is, if you want to be in film, move to where there's film and be around film. However you can be, whether that's an unpaid production assistant, however you can get your foot in the door. I moved to LA just because I was really interested in production, and I lived kind of really close to New York, so it's either New York or LA.
Right.
And I just wanted to go. I was just like, screw it. I had some experience like directing the local news. I just knew I loved production. I just put myself in LA, and then once you get into one of these towns, which and they're all over now, Vancouver, and New York, put yourself in one of these neighborhoods or cities, and then start looking online, looking on entertainment careers, Craigslist, Mandy. Start picking up jobs. If you are competent and passionate and dedicated, and you show up and you put in 12 hours on a film set in an unpaid PA role, you are going to get recognized and brought to the next film. Right. And then in that next film, maybe you get to be an AD or a second AD.
Well, you're saying the very important part that a lot of people bypass and forget is like, it's not like that you're being asked to work for free because people want to take advantage of you. What it is people want to know that they can trust you, because in the business of media, there's a lot of slackers and there's a lot of people who will jerk you, and you're going to get used, and bad things are going to happen if you rely on unreliable people. So what happens in our world is like people are like, well, I don't know how to get in. The circle is so tight and you have to know somebody. It's like, it's not that you have to know somebody. It's that somebody has to trust you and be able to hire you and know that you're going to follow through on your job and not destroy what they've been hired to do. So it's like everyone gets hired up as we go along. And I think it's kind of one of those things where you're like, how do you start? It's like you start somewhere, anywhere somewhere in the direction of the field that you want to go in. For someone like me who was like, I went to college to do graphic art and then got into film and video, and then slowly kind of like was always into comic books and just worked my way in not even intentionally, just started doing graphics for music videos, and then ended up becoming an editor and an animation director. I was hired by Cartoon Network to do James Bond Jr.'s commercials. So they were like, well, we like the stuff you've done. So
got to interrupt you again. We got another $150 donation came in from Shane Moore. Shane, do me a favor. Make sure you email us. This is very important, Shane. Email us at AMC. You can see the email address there. AMCmovietalk@gmail.com. Put in the subject line, Schnepp Picture. Doesn't matter if you misspell Schnepp. It's okay.
Yeah.
Schnepp Picture.
I won't get mad.
With your mailing address, and we will pass it on to Schnepp. So please, Shane, if you're watching right now, and your donation just came in, so I hope you're watching, please email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com with Schnepp Picture in the subject line with your mailing address. And what it looks like he wants a Wolverine versus Apocalypse picture.
Nice.
That's a pretty cool request.
And check it out, because we just sold out of all 5 of those.
Yes.
I'm going to offer 5 more.
What?
Really?
I'm going to offer 5 more. It's crazy. I'm getting crazy style. It's late, but since that's helping, I want to keep helping. So I will do 5 more, and then that's it. So I'll do 10.
5. So again,
5 are gone, so there's only 5 left.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, Schnepp is offering to custom draw you whatever you want. If you're able to donate $150, just put in the comment section what you want John Schnepp to draw you, and he will draw you. One of our friends just donated $150 to embarrass me and Campia. If you don't know us personally, that's okay. You can embarrass your friend. I'm sure you can send him a reference photo, and he will embarrass your girlfriend for you or your boyfriend.
Within certain limits, guys.
Yeah, Armando, who donated $200, has sent in his request. I forwarded the information on to you. He is asking for a picture of John. That's me with an H. As Batman. So now you got two incarnations of me as Batman that you got to do, I guess.
I'm going to have to get your Batman face.
Well, you already have disgusted Batman.
Right.
So,
that's right.
Yeah. So
now I'll get do you want to be a smiling Batman or just a badass brooding Batman?
I want to be a badass brooding Batman.
Give me the brooding face.
Yeah, I'll give you that a little bit later. And let me just double check to see if not yet. So Shane, once again, do not forget, we need you we
need your address.
We need your address. So please email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Put in the subject line Schnepp Picture and give us your mailing address so we can pass it on to Schnepp and he can draw your picture and get it to you. So please make sure you do that.
And I'll just
quickly, my voice is starting to go.
I'll wrap up my story of how I became a director of what I'm doing now is started doing a bunch of animation direction and editing. So I learned how to edit television shows, ended up editing a ton of commercials, editing a lot of industrial videos, editing music videos, which led to me directing music videos, animation directing cartoon shows. Like I did a bunch of stuff for Nickelodeon as an editor and animation director, which means basically you're overseeing the animation and working closely with the director, getting out what the vision that he's trying to get across. So being able to wear multiple hats just really helped, because ultimately as I proceeded with my career, people would be like, oh my God, he knows how to direct, he can edit, he can do all these things. So they would hire me to be a multi-hyphenate, and then I could just oversee the production.
It's super important. You need to put yourself around. You need to get yourself geographically close. You need to get within the proximity of people that are doing what you would love to do. Just get yourself around that area. In John's case, he was able to work at that music video company.
Yeah, in Chicago, and then I moved to LA because I was like, I hit a ceiling at the late 90s. I was like, I can't get hired to do what I wanted. I finally was having a career, but I couldn't do the things I wanted to do because they were all in LA.
You just can't have the expectation that you're going to go and get hired at that music video company and be a director. You know, and I think that's maybe where a lot of people falter, is that they think, okay, well, I'll get a job there, and then within a year, I'll be directing my own music videos. No, that's not how it works. If you're really passionate about this field and you want to be a director, you get a job there and you will do anything they let you do.
Yep.
If you're getting paid for it, even the better. And then while you're there, maybe perhaps in that role that you're not thrilled with, you're just getting coffee or you're whatever you may be doing, you're picking up as many of the field, as many hats as you possibly can, so that when the opportunities present themselves to you, you can start honing in on what you're really passionate about. And over the course of years, all of a sudden you're 5-6 years down the line, you're going to be doing something that's much closer, if not the thing that you're hoping to do, just by putting in that time and putting in that effort. But the first step is always, if whatever you're passionate about, find out where it's getting done, where it's getting made, and put yourself there.
All right, I got to throw this in here quick, and then I'm going to add something to what you're saying. We are now $1 away from $19,000. We're at $18,999. I'm going to refresh
the page.
Will it be at no? So $18,999.
Who's going to be the hero?
So we are almost at 19. I'll let you know when we cross it. But I want to add one thing to what the guys are saying here about this. And this is very important. It should go without saying, but it is not. When it comes to the entertainment industry, even on the fringe elements of the entertainment industry, with like stuff that we do at AMC Movie Talk, with YouTube channels, whatever, people are lazy, and people want the quick fix. They want, I get a lot of emails all the time, and this is not to disparage anybody who writes to me or whatever, but I get an awful lot of emails every single day.
How can I be a movie blogger?
I want to be. How can I apply to be on AMC Movie Talk? It's like, what have you done? Nothing? Okay, so let me tell you what I did. Do not wait for an opportunity and then work hard. Create your own opportunity. When I wanted to start getting into something, I said, well, there's no movie blogs that are going to hire me. I've never done anything. So what I do, I started my own movie blog, and I worked my proverbial ass off to make it as great and as big and as successful as I could, to hone my skill, get better at it, all that kind of stuff. And I worked my tail off. I went to school, I worked a job, and I was blogging like 5 hours a day, movie stuff, so I could get better at it. But also I was creating my own opportunities. And pretty soon, my website, which was the movie blog at the time, was bigger than other websites that I would have wanted to get a job at. So don't just wait to start working hard. Don't wait for somebody to hand you something and then work hard. Work hard now. Move to the town you need to move to now. Do what you need to do. If you're really passionate about it, do something about it, and then ask people for opportunities.
It is scary how easy the answer is to that question, because similar to the way you get that, I always get like, how do you get like, how do I be YouTube famous? How do I make a living off of YouTube is the question I always get. And the answer is exactly the same, and you've heard it 3 different times now. It's super easy. Put in the work. Put in a lot of work, and that'll get it there. And everybody that I know and respect and trust, and people that are super talented, Tom Lennon and Ben Grant, 2 of the guys from Reno 911, wrote a screenwriting book that was recently called How to Make Movies for Fun and Profit in Hollywood, and fun is crossed out. Mm-hmm. And it's a great screenwriting book for any of you who may be interested, because it literally is a paint-by-numbers guide to selling screenplays in Hollywood. And they will tell you like 1,000 times, you should just be writing constantly. You want to be a screenwriter? Write constantly. Write as if it's breathing to you. You know what I mean? You may be a waiter, but as soon as you get off your shift, you're writing. Mm-hmm. On your weekends, you're writing. Whatever you want to do it yourself. Be passionate about it. Do it a lot. Do it for the sake of doing it, because it's its own reward. And if you do it enough, and do it for long enough, and are truly passionate about, you will succeed. No doubt in my mind.
I was going to add on to that, like, just by taking chances and like learning how to edit and learning how to be an animation director and doing these things. For when I first started getting paid, I was like, oh my God, I'm making $750 a week. As like somebody who graduated from college and was like literally painting bars, like I would do murals and stuff. That's how I was living, and all of a sudden I was actually making a weekly rate, doing something I really like. I was loving what I was doing. Then I got my friend who I was working for, who became my friend, who I was doing this MTV interactive project. He went off to Atlanta to work on this Bobcat Goldthwait thing, and he's like, "I'd love to have you come and work on this. They're looking for an editor on this other project. It's called Space Goes Coast to Coast." And they said, "We need some weirdo." And I was like, "You're a weirdo." So I threw your name in the hat. Can you send him a reel? So I sent him a reel of like just this bizarre stuff that I cut together just from mainly my own short films. And Mike Lazo was like, "You're hired to come to Atlanta." So you just really have to be willing to take chances too. Like, I went to Atlanta for 4 months. Had so much fun.
As Campy just said, you were creating your own opportunities by learning and picking up things that were related to your field of interest that were along that pathway to where you wanted to go. You were able to take advantage of opportunities along that path and amazing experiences.
Guys, I'm going to interrupt you here because we do got to move on to the next question. Okay. But before we do that, we have crossed $19,000. We are currently sitting at $19,049. Again, let me remind you, our original goal that I thought we had a chance of reaching was $3,000. That was my goal 2 weeks ago when I set up the donation page so people could donate before the marathon. But my goal was we get a few donations before the marathon. Then by the end of the marathon, we'd be at $3,000. But you guys have just driven us to $19,000.
I mean, the people watching this and the people that have donated, I think they hit your goal like almost after you announced it.
Yeah,
it
was about 24 hours.
Yeah, you were like, "Oh, great, we hit our goal."
Well, I guess we should go up to 6,000. Then a week later, hey, we got 6,000. So, like earlier today, I was like, I think 20 is a good number. Like, I think we're gonna.
You guys are aiming too low. $500,000. Our new goal is $500,000.
We'll never get to it. Yeah. That's exciting.
And John Schnepp will draw.
So we have hit the goal, not the goal, but we well exceeded the goal, guys. Thank you so much. The donations you are making a real, solid, significant difference.
And all joking aside, there are still 5 more drawings that Schnepp is willing to do. So if you wanted your own original
pencil and ink
drawing of literally anything you want, I've suggested an Adam West Batman several times. It has not been picked up yet. So far, we've had some great comic suggestions. He's offered to draw Metalocalypse. Anything you want drawn, he will draw for you if you're able to donate that at that $150 level. And we have 5 more of those to give out. So.
Well, actually, we have 4 more to give out, because we just got another $150 donation from Rendon Long, who donated $150. He would like Spider-Man versus Venom versus Green Goblin, whatever, halfway through the battle.
Wow, awesome! That's going to be really fun to draw.
So, Rendon, I just want to make sure, Rendon, that you emailed us. Rendon, listen, I hope you're watching right now. Please make sure you email us. I got to let you know this. Rendon, if you're watching, email us right now at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Email us there right now. Put in the subject line Schnepp Picture and give us your mailing address and remind us once again of what you'd like Schnepp to draw. Please send that to us here as fast as you can, and we'll get that handed off to Schnepp, and he'll have your info.
Chuck Norris has a clarification on his drawing.
Okay, Chuck Norris.
Good night, guys. If Schnepp would be so generous as to add an embarrassed Dennis as Robin, that would be fantastic. And to be clear, I would love for the Batman Robin to be Adam West era. But please, if that's too much work, I totally understand. Good night and good luck.
I will definitely make him an Adam West Batman, but I'm going to put Dennis inside the glass cage as Robin.
That's a great idea.
So that'll be fun. And this is the size of the drawing. It's going to be 9 by 12. On this Bristol board paper, super high quality paper.
So. Are you guys gonna be able to put up some of these like pics just for people to see, or are these gonna be only for the people?
No, I think we'll let people see them.
We'll share them for sure.
They just want to actually have their own copy.
I would be so interested in seeing all of these drawings. So
once again, Rendon, please make sure you email us. I'm gonna email this to you right now.
Thank you, Rendon. Thanks for contributing. That's awesome of you.
Hold a second, please.
This is the part of the marathon where we listen to John transcribe his email to the donors.
Listen to the typing sounds. They're happening, and it's now.
It's John Campia, and he types. It's the middle of the night. He's asking Rendon for his address. Please sing it. Send it along.
Those typing sounds are his fingers. They're moving quite quickly. He's a really fast typer. He can type what he thinks, and it instantly comes out into text.
Guys, it's almost 2 a.m.
If you didn't expect the typing theme song by now, right. I don't know what you tuned in for.
The following hour might all be singing, guys.
Oh, okay, here we go. Rendon has sent us his picture, and he dude's from Texas. Nice. So I'm going to forward this to Schnepp, and Schnepp's got his hand on it. So what does that leave us with now? 4.
4 left, yep.
We've got 4 left of those pictures, and we will now move on to our next question because we're not moving through them very fast.
Do we want to do rocket answers so we can rock through like 5 or 6 of them?
Yeah, let's try to move a little bit quicker here. Next one comes from Eddie Yan, and Eddie Yan donated. Thank you so much, Eddie. And Eddie says, "Hello, AMC Talking Heads. I just recently became a fan of the show. It has become a daily routine to watch your show while I am eating dinner." Awesome, thanks a lot, Eddie. My question is for all 3 of you. Okay, for all 3 of you.
Probably meaning I was dead.
Imagine yourself as a superpowered movie exec / writer / casting director. What type of movie would you do, and which actor, present and or past, would you cast? Keep up the great work. Samalat in Tagalog. I would cast, if I could put anybody in anything, I would probably cast Kirk Douglas, in a Spartacus sequel. How do you do sequel to Spartacus? There's no way you can do a sequel to Spartacus. So it'll have to be some kind of zombie movie as well, and I would do it in that old style, Spartacus. That's what I would do with Kirk Douglas. Thank you.
Like a zombie Spartacus?
Yeah, zombie Spartacus.
Spartacus
with
versus
Kirk
a
Douglas.
bunch of zombies. That's awesome. All right.
What about you guys? If you could make any film and cast anybody in it, what would you do?
Just popping right into my head, I would definitely, if I could, since we're dealing with time travel and all omnipotent power, is that correct? Like anything we want?
Yes, anything you want.
It would be circa 1998, Nicolas Cage as Superman, team up Batman and Superman, Michael Keaton as Batman versus the Joker and Brainiac.
I love it.
Wait, is this were there casting decisions in that? Did I miss it?
It's just like, I would love to just see, and Tim Burton would be directing it, and it would be an amalgam Kevin Smith, Wesley Strick script. They would be working together, and it would be the craziest thing ever made.
What was the recent the fan push to get Nathan Fillion cast in what super?
Well, I mean, people.
Was it Ant-Man or no?
Well, there's been a lot of people have wanted him in Ant-Man. A lot of people wanted him in Green Lantern. A lot of people want him in as a replacement for Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man.
Right.
I mean, Nathan Fillion. Whenever there's a Marvel casting decision, Nathan Fillion's name come up, and rightfully so.
I would plug him into any of those roles. I'm a huge
Han
fan.
Solo. I heard him like, hey, if
as a younger Han Solo film, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a great actor. I just don't. He's not my go-to when I think of someone as Ant-Man. I didn't really have like an Ant-Man in my mind, but when they finally said Paul Rudd, I was like, wow, that makes sense. Because I mean, Edgar Wright, it's going to have some form of comedy to it. It can't just be completely straight up. So, I mean, at least I'd hope.
Right.
So.
And hey guys, listen. What I'm going to do right now, I've already played this twice, but but that was like over 6 hours ago. I think the last time we did it. I just want to share with you guys that when Disney and Marvel heard about what we were doing, Dave Bautista, WWE superstar, and the guy starring in the upcoming Marvel film Guardians of the Galaxy as Drax the Destroyer, who is Filipino himself, decided he wanted to reach out and thank you guys for your donations and what you're giving here on this AMC Movie Talk Marathon. So I played it a whole lot earlier before, but for those of you who are watching right now, I want to play this again for you. This is Dave Bautista, star of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hey guys, I'm Dave Bautista, WWE superstar, and also starring as Drax the Destroyer in the upcoming Marvel film Guardians of the Galaxy. And more importantly, I am a proud Filipino. So I wanted to personally thank everybody for your efforts and your donations to the Philippines after the tragedy of the typhoon. So on behalf of myself and Filipinos around the world, thank you and mabuhay. Peace.
So there you have it. There's Dave Bautista thanking you guys for all that you have done. You guys have already raised far more than I ever thought we would have, over $19,000. Actually, I believe right now we're at somewhere around 19. I'll give you a quick automatic update here. We are at $19,255.
Yeah.
That you guys have raised. Thank you so much for your donations, guys. It is going a long way. All right, on to the next question. And the next question comes to us from... okay, I already asked that. All right, Logan Stone, who writes in all capital letters, so this must be important. Logan writes, I'm staying
you have
the
to
whole...
scream it. You have to scream it.
No, I've got neighbors. I don't want to scream. I'm staying the whole night. My question is, who do you think will be in the Justice League movie? Of course, Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman are a must-have, but I want to know who you think. Personally, I think Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Cyborg, or Nightwing if they decide to use them in the second Man of Steel, which I would hate. Thank you, and keep up the filthy. Well, look, there was a Justice League movie in the works not so long ago, about a year ago, actually. There was a Justice League movie in the works, and the leak that came out about it was going to be 5 members. It was going to be Batman, it was going to be Superman, it was going to be Wonder Woman, it was going to be Green Lantern, and it was going to be Flash. And those were the 5 people that were going to be in Justice League. Very conspicuous by their absence, obviously, was Martian Manhunter, no Cyborg, no Hawkman, no Aquaman. Was one of the big missing pieces. But those are the 5 they were looking at. I have no reason to believe that WB has changed their position. Even though they scrapped that project, they had a script and everything. The same dude who wrote the script for Gangster Squad, which turned out to be a disaster, this Gangster Squad, they ended up scrapping that whole project, did Man of Steel, and now are obviously looking at Justice League again. I don't believe there's any reason to think that Justice League or Warner Brothers has changed their philosophy on who would be in the Justice League and what their lineup would be. I think that is a good starting 5.
What was when you say it was sort of in production or pre-production? Is there a sense of how much pre-production there would have been done?
Well, the script was done.
Yeah, the script was done. I don't think they never got to, like, at least I haven't heard any kind of sketches. I don't think they got to that area yet, you know.
So it wasn't like a studio boss really loved a sketch of one of the characters.
As a matter of fact, they didn't even have a director on yet. There was rumors going around that Ben Affleck was offered the job. And obviously now we know Ben Affleck will probably end up directing Justice League because I don't think he came on to just act as Batman. I think he's got bigger plans for the DC universe. But yeah, so once again, the people that were reported to be in that incarnation of Justice League that didn't happen, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Flash. I believe that is a good, solid starting 5. I believe those 5 are a better suited 5 for launching a show than, say, Cyborg or Hawkman or Aquaman. And I've grown on Aquaman. Aquaman's grown on me a lot. I'm now a fan of Aquaman. But I believe that is the starting 5. And I don't think you want to start with 6 or 7.
Right.
I think you start with 5 and then you go from there. That's the way I see it. What do you guys think?
Adding to that, I would say originally when I was thinking about who are they going to add to make the Justice League big bad, I thought Darkseid, because why? I mean, he's like a Thanos type otherworldly character, but he also opens it up to all the other worlds as opposed to just Earth. That's how you bring in Martian Manhunter. That's how you bring in Hawkman. I don't know if they're going to bring those guys in right off the bat, but it's definitely a way you connect the Green Lantern Corps into the Justice League. If you're going to use Green Lantern, you have to acknowledge that there is the Green Lantern Corps.
My one problem with using a Darkseid in a Justice League film, I think that is blowing your load a little too early. I think he is too big of a bad guy for a first Justice League film. Much like I think it would be, like Thanos himself would have been too big of a bad guy for the first event, even though he's the puppet master behind it all. I don't think you can go either Doomsday or Darkseid in the first Justice League. They might end up doing that, particularly Doomsday. That's a possibility. But I could see them setting up Darkseid as a grand villain in the overall Justice League universe that maybe eventually they get to. But how do you escalate? If you start with Darkseid, how do you escalate for the next one. Who becomes the bigger threat than Darkseid?
Eclipso, and then the whole thing bombs. They're like, why did you get the Eclipso? I don't. We had to just go work our way down from Darkseid. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but at the same time, what if there is no? I mean, why not crack it out of the gate and have like a gigantic world versus world battle? I mean, they could have Starro, the weird starfish creature, which was the very first Justice League, and he's like sent by Darkseid. It'd be almost like too much of a mimic of like his face turns at the end. You thought I was Thanos, didn't you? Well, no. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who would be the big villain of Justice League if not Darkseid?
Yeah, we'd have to think a little bit smaller to start, because you just like you were mentioning earlier, actually, that one of the brilliant things about Batman Begins was that they didn't come with Joker right out of the gate. They gave us something smaller, built up. That's what Avengers is doing now. They start smaller, they're building up. But we were talking about this before. I think Black Adam becomes a very legitimate possibility, whether or not he's played by The Rock.
Right.
But I think Black Adam has the power that he can be a menacing threat to the Justice League, but he's a few steps below a Doomsday or a Darkseid, and he's a really interesting character. And it gives you an in for so we can't call him Captain Marvel anymore, for Shazam a little bit later. I think DC's got a big pantheon of villains that we could go with.
The League of Doom?
League of Doom. Just Penguin. Penguin becomes the big foil to the entire Justice League himself.
But it's the
Danny DeVito.
Tim Burton, yeah, Danny DeVito.
The Danny DeVito Penguin.
I've got my scissor fingers. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next thing here. Big T writes, who donated. Thank you so much, Big T. Hello, guys. Greetings from Croatia. Wow. Thanks a lot for writing and for donating.
It's probably at a more decent hour in the day in Croatia right now.
It probably is.
Some breakfast sausage right now.
It is past 2 a.m. in the morning right here. Let me just think. It has now been 16 hours. 16 hours since I started the movie marathon this morning. My throat is killing me. All right.
10 to 10
is 24. So we're 8 short.
I think you're 4.
How many hours is it until 10 right now?
Well, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. is 12, and it's 4 hours past 10 p.m., so it's 14. Now, I'm not saying your sleep-deprived mind is doing math wrong, but we are 6 hours away from 24.
Wait, it's 2 a.m. right now.
Wait.
How far are we from 10 a.m.?
8 hours.
Okay. Yes. So what's 24 minus 8?
16.
So we are 16 hours into the show.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Because 10 to 10 was 12, plus 4 more is 16.
You're right. I can't do math.
It is 2 in the. You're forgiven because it's 2 in the morning. It's 2 in the morning, so you are forgiven. All right. What was the question? Greetings from Croatia. You're really doing a wonderful thing here. Thanks so much for that compliment, Big T. My question is: have you seen the Danish movie The Hunt, starring Mads Mikkelsen? If not, I would highly recommend it. I'm sure it would find a place in one of your top 10s. Well, I know nothing about it, but the fact that you mentioned Mads is in it makes me interested.
I'll tell you what it's about. I didn't see it. I saw the trailer for it. It's basically Mads plays I think he's a teacher who gets accused of abusing a child, even though he didn't do it. And then he loses his entire career. And it just seemed like when I saw the trailer for it, even though I love Mads Mikkelsen, it seemed like such a bummer movie to me that I was like, yeah, I don't really want to see this movie with Mads getting jacked all over the place for like 2 hours, where it's like basically the trailer is like loses his wife, everybody's against him, the family doesn't believe him. It just seemed like, even though I'm sure the movie ends with like him victorious, like I've proven that I did not touch that girl. It just seemed like, wow, what a bummer film. I'd rather just read the reality of it and like, oh man, the guy got busted and then he was wrongly accused and everything worked out great. Cool. That would suck if that happened. But 2 hours of seeing that film, it seems like kind of a bummer to me. I mean, eventually I'd like to see it because he's an incredible.
When you're in the right mindset, like when you're feeling just a little too good about life in general.
Be like a Requiem for a Dream. Nah, not that suicidal. Put on The Hunt.
Well, just so you know, Big T from Croatia highly recommends it.
All right, Big T, I'm going to listen to you. I'll definitely see it soon.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Sean Simpson writes, great show, guys. Phase 3, AMC Movie News Network. Anyway, I was wondering if anybody has watched a movie in Dolby Atmos and what you think of the technology and if it will become a standard in a few years. I know it has at least one theater at the AMC Burbank. Thanks a lot, Sean. And yes, one of the theaters in the AMC Burbank 16 is a Dolby Atmos. For those of you who don't know, Dolby Atmos is a new sound technology where I also believe like it's speakers above you and around you. It's supposed to be the most immersive, incredible audio experience. I do not believe I have seen a film, even though my office is at the AMC Burbank 16. I have not seen a movie in there yet, but I keep hearing how amazing it is. I heard The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, specifically sound engineered for the Dolby Atmos system, is incredible.
That's the question I was about to ask you. Is it the sort of thing where like it's up-resed for the theater, like any movie?
Well, it's an audio, yeah.
Well, but I'm using that analogy,
right.
Like if it's playing on an IMAX screen, but it's not really shot in IMAX. Is it a technology that translates to the hardware that's in the speakers, or do they specifically have to mix a movie for that?
They specifically sound engineer it for that, much like they specifically sound engineer for different audio technologies.
Sure, like
well.
D-Box, they have a dude like, here, you're doing the D-Box pass, so when you hear a rumbling and your chair is all moving, some dude had to program that rumbling, but it won't work on the people who don't have the tingler technology of D-Box, who don't want to chuck down that extra $3 to be shaken every time there's an explosion. Though I can't say I didn't have fun. I saw the Book of Eli in D-Box, and it really cracked me up. Like, not only did
people mock to the rumble controllers on every video game system.
Look, when there's car chases, it was awesome. When people are just talking and you're panning and your chair's moving, that's weird. So, but to each his own. D-Box.
All right. Michael Dizon, I'm going to ask this question.
I was going to make that was John's nickname in high school. But
D-Box. Yep. He used to beatbox. He was
no, that's not why he was called
that. That's not who's going to call me
Bam! All right.
My friends, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I'm going to ask this question, and then I'm going to run to the bathroom while you guys start to answer it. Michael Dizon writes, Hi, John and Sons of AMC. Greetings and salutations from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I love that town. My girlfriend and I watch AMC Movie Talk every day. Anyway, I love going to the movies. It is my absolute favorite pastime. That being said, my question is regarding movie theater etiquette. I've had my share of movie experiences ruined by bright cell phone screens, loud ringing, seat kicking, etc. It drives me absolutely insane. Your thoughts on this? Thanks, Sean. I hope you get 24 hours of sleep after this marathon. Nope, I'm driving to Vegas when we're done the marathon. Man of Steel rules. P.S. Big fan of John Schnepp's nerd voice and mannerisms when mocking diehard nerd
You're
fanatics.
You're a nerd!
So
you said it's
let's
very
start with you
similar to
guys.
Conan's nerd voice.
Yeah, it's just like if I'm doing the super nerd, I'm like, well, the thing that I was describing when I was talking about Superman, which you didn't understand, it just gets higher pitched and more nasally and angry and full of like that flavory nerd rage that we all love.
So where do you stand on movie theater etiquette, Schnepp? Do you champion the draft house, throwing down the gauntlet, kicking the people out? Do you? I remember I heard about this movie theater that I thought was in Texas,
right?
But they were actually marketing like texting movies. They were trying to like. I guess there were certain showings that you could go to that were like pro texting to like garner like the teen crowd or something.
The strange people who can't stay off their phone for the 90 minutes. No, I'm way in the draft house zone where I'm like. If you have your cell phone on past the trailers, like if the movie's starting and I'm in the theater, you're going to hear from me in person.
You're going to get to meet John.
You'll get to meet me
in person
in a very unkind and unflattering way, which I would expect from anyone. I think during trailers and during all the pre-actual movie it's totally cool to like check your phone. It's okay to talk with your friends.
Those are basically commercials.
It's okay to talk about the trailer. Yeah. But once the movie starts, that's when it's time to settle down and respect everyone's personal space. Everyone else who's in the theater with you, who all paid the same amount of money as you to enjoy the film, and it's not your personal living room. So I mean, honestly, it's like that's the big beef I have nowadays is people keep talking during the film. They forget, like, look, I know you and your friend are here at the movie and you're talking with them, but I can hear you. I'm sitting right behind you. And if you put your feet up on the chair where my head is, you're going to get me turning around and telling you to move your feet off of my head. Right. And I don't think there's any reason to be angry about that. You should just respect other people's space. I mean, the chairs in all of these theaters are quite large, and you should be pretty comfortable in these chairs, and just respect the no phones, no talking while the movie's on. Of course, if you're at a comedy, everyone's going to laugh, everyone's going to comment on certain things. That makes total sense. That's part of the magic of seeing a movie, but I really, the cell phone thing is something that I've experienced this already a few times where the person sitting in front of me has their phone on, and I was really cool all the way through the trailer, and then the movie started and they still had their phone on, and I had to look at my friend and be like, that's weird. I'd totally be watching this movie if I could see it, but I can't because that person in front of me's cell phone. And then they would flip out. And, obviously I did that just so they would turn their phone off.
Right.
But I mean,
oh, that's so weird. It's very passive, very aggressive.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that I've had some really bad experiences in certain theaters where people were talking on the phone, and I had to actually go to get a manager, and it's like I didn't come to a movie theater to get in a fist fight with someone because they're talking on their phone and walking around. Right. That's up to the ushers and then ultimately the manager to then take care of. But always do that. I mean, don't take it into your own. It's not up to you to police a movie theater. So if someone's talking or using their cell phone, just simply get up and go get an usher. And that's it. That's all you have to do. I mean, I would.
I'm going to interrupt you guys right now. Eric Duran has donated $150.
All right, Eric.
To the cause, and he is asking for, where did it go? What has he requested? He would like a picture of Wolverine versus Lobo.
Awesome.
I forwarded that information to you, so you're going to have it there. Thank you so much for that, Eric. And just as an update, we see where we're at here. We are now at, wait a second, that can't be right. We're not at $13,000. We are now at $19,907.
Closing in on $20,000.
Wow. Guys, holy crap. We are $93 away from $20,000.
Yes.
$93 away from $20,000.
Which is less than the amount you need to donate to get your very own custom pencil and ink John Schnepp character design.
That's right. There's only 3 left, right?
Only 3 left.
If you are able to give $150, he will design and sketch whatever you want. What have we had so far?
We've had Spider-Man fighting Venom and the Green Goblin. We've had both of you guys as Wonder Woman and Batman, Adam West style. We've had
with Dennis's Robin.
Oh, Dennis's Robin in the glass case. We've had
Wolverine versus Lobo.
Another me as Batman.
Another John as Batman. Just a regular Batman. What else? Composite, a Red Hulk and Nebula.
Pretty badass.
Yeah.
So literally throw anything you can think of if you're able to afford that $150 donation. We'll
all
get
great
you
choices.
Something that you and your friends can truly nerd out over, because how amazing would it be to have this thing in your living room?
Hold on a second again. I believe we have another one.
All right.
Let me just double check here. Estevan Zambrano has donated $150.
Awesome.
He's asking, hello, and how do I contact you about the drawing?
There is an email address on the screen, but you're actually getting an email from John as we speak. Here it is. It's the typing
We're
song.
Gonna sing the
Are you
song?
ready?
Okay.
Go for it.
Oh, John Campy is typing. That's what you're hearing as his fingers, as he's thinking he is typing the words that will soon be emanating. And then it's going to beam through the internet real quickly.
You're stopping. Keep typing.
Sorry. Keep on typing, John Campy. Sorry, I interrupted your brain flow. So the fingers must keep go. Trying to rhyme it because I'm singing a song, having some fun, and now we're typing really all extra quick and Estefan.
He really can't. He's trying so hard to finish this sentence.
All right. I believe I've confused John Campia's mind thoughts, and then it's not going into his fingers, but he's almost there, Estefan.
Very strong. Very strong. By the way, if you'd like that as your ringtone, you can download this after it's been published, convert it to MP3,
and turn it into a song.
Envy of your friends.
That's right. Add your own music. Dubstep.
Preferably dubstep. Yeah. It's going to need to be remixed heavily. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Get that Fox guy and
Yeevis.
Yeah.
Okay. So that leaves us with two.
Two left.
Two drawings left.
Unbelievable, you guys.
By the way, if you just donate at all, that's where we're pulling most of these questions. So when you hear John Campea going to the questions of people who've donated, even if you donate $10, you can leave a comment and ask your question. And at some point over the course of the marathon,
the next 8 hours, we'll get to it.
Look, I was saying we would get to it. I'm not so sure we're going to get to it.
Let's rock it through a bunch of questions.
Okay, let's do a whole bunch right here.
One sentence answers.
Christian Zaldivar writes, what is up, everybody? Hope you all had a lovely holiday. My question is, of the films we're aware of, which movie in 2014 do you think has the greatest potential of winning Best Picture at the Academy Awards? Also, which one do you think will be the highest grossing film of the year? Godspeed and party on. You know, Christian, we did a segment earlier about the films of 2014. Look back, I think it's segment number 3, maybe segment number 4. The looking forward to the pictures of 2014. Go back and watch that. That's where we run through all of them, which ones we're looking forward to, which ones we think we're going to do well.
Quick answer.
Off the top of my head, and I know I would want to change my mind later, not Best Picture, but maybe win the box office, maybe X-Men Days of Future Past.
Best Picture, Oscar, goes to PG-13 RoboCop. Just the movie that's going to rock the box office. The film with Billy Crystal and Whoopi Goldberg. I can't remember what it's called right now.
I totally forgot. I didn't even know they had a movie coming.
No, they don't. I don't know. I can't think of. What do you think? What do you think? Biggest box office next year, 2014.
I think X-Men has a chance.
I think Spider-Man 2 is going to.
Oh, that is
Spider-Man
true.
2 is going to rock the box office. That looks like a lot of fun.
All right, James T. Fields donated. Thank you so much for your donation, James. And he writes, hey, AMC Movie Talk crew, congrats on your nominations for Best Online News Show. It is well-deserved. I wanted to avoid asking about anything Marvel or DC related, so my question is, what do you hope to see in Pacific Rim 2, assuming they make it? And this show is awesome. Well, thank you so much, James. Schnepp, what do you hope to see in Pacific Rim 2, if they make a Pacific Rim 2?
Hoping that they are going to go forward and make it. I know they've agreed to write a screenplay, so that's that means they actually pay Guillermo and the screenwriter to, I think it's Travis Beacham. I don't remember exactly who it is who co-wrote the screenplay. Sorry, guys. But to see in Pacific Rim 2, okay, well, they went through, they closed the breach, but those weird little creepy insectoid monsters from another dimension are going to find a way to get back because it's going to be Pacific Rim 2. I don't know if they're going to actually use the Pacific Rim, or maybe they'll come up with a different title.
Pacific Rimmer.
Yeah, Pacific Rimmer, Jägermeister, Meister Jäger, Master Jäger. Who knows what it's going to be, but I think what they'll end up doing is bringing forth those actual beasts from the other dimension, the Masters, and not the cloned kaiju that they've been using as their army. They're actually going to show up. The actual aliens.
It's such a... it's such an interesting idea. I mean, honestly, at its core, I'm going to be thrilled with monsters fighting robots. Mm-hmm. So as long as you give me more of that, I am not going to be disappointed. But man, I mean, the sheer scale of the original or the first film, like just the concept of trying to one-up yourself and step up your game in that situation, it's like... How while keeping it somewhat reasonable and somewhat realistic within this universe, how do you trump just the
planet-sized robots? I know that's fighting on the moon.
What I think they're going to do is if they get Pacific Rim,
they'll Voltron. The Jaegers will Voltron together.
That would be badass.
I don't think the mastermind aliens will come invade. I think the Jaegers invade their world.
Wow, that would be great.
I think what you'll see is that the Earth goes, okay, you know what? We can't just sit around and wait for them to come at us again. We got to go get them.
Right, we got to finish what we started. We got to make sure they just not only they nuke the inside.
They close the portal.
They close it,
but we got to assume they're going to find another way back here. So we got to find a way in there first, and we got to take the fight to them. And we're going to send in like 100 Jaegers to go in there and take out whatever they got in there.
The big daddy. They're going to have to go in and find out. Like, all right, we don't even know what this technology is, but
who you find out is Godzilla.
Ooh, that would be badass.
I mean,
crossover.
Just point out, hey, I'm just saying, the Pacific Rim and Godzilla are both Warner Brothers films. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
That'd be pretty badass.
They're not going to cross it over. Oh,
bam!
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Let me just
We
double
need
check.
sound effects. Where's the sound effects?
Bing
up
bong,
in
bing
this?
bong, bing 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 bong.
Ray Ortiz has made a $150 donation to
Bam.
the cause, which officially, guys, takes us over $20,000.
Awesome.
We are
Thank
now
you, Ray.
at $20,077. Thanks to Ray Ortiz. Ray, make sure you email us at this email address, amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Put Schnepp picture in the description or in the subject line. Tell us what you want them to draw, and make sure you include your mailing address. So make sure you do that right now, Ray. I never imagined we would hit $20,000.
Man, it's amazing.
Thank you so much,
You guys are all awesome.
It's ridiculous. I mean, obviously it's a phenomenal cause. It's all going to the Red Cross and their typhoon relief efforts in the Philippines. It couldn't be, I mean, some of you are getting like great, and perks out of this thing, but obviously just donating for the cause's sake is phenomenal. And it's truly like, it's humbling to be alive in an era where this type of community and social networking can do this. Like literally there are people in Croatia and Texas and Canada that are watching this that are clicking a button to send their money to people literally half a world away. Like it's just kind of
who are in
mind-blowing.
dire need of help, which I think is great. It's really admirable.
But that type of crowdsourcing and funding and technology didn't exist prior to a year
5
or
years
two.
ago.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so you're able to, these people that are so generous with their time and their money are able to help people half a world away so easily. It's it's very enheartening. There's a lot of reasons to be cynical about life and the entertainment industry and everything else, but in moments of tragedy, I think it's a Mr. Rogers quote. Where people were asking him about being cynical, and he's like, wherever you see disaster, like always look for the helpers, like look for the people that are helping.
That's why Mr. Rogers is awesome.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers rocks, and you guys are the helpers. You guys, all these people donating, you're the helpers he was talking about. You're the people that when tragedy hits, you're there to step up and support in whatever capacity you possibly can. Like even if you can't afford to donate, you're sharing the link or passing around the drive.
Yeah, and thank you guys so much. I mean, I really appreciate all the people who've put in money for me to draw something so that you guys can help contribute to the Philippines cause. So,
and hey, I just want to remind you guys that is why we're here. We are here doing this marathon to raise money for the Philippines cause. You guys can participate. As you can see right there underneath me right now is a URL. Go to www.crowdrise.com/AMC Movie News Philippines, or look in the description of this video for a link that you can just click on. That'll take you to the donation page. Once you go there, just click on the big red Donate Now button. It's underneath the Red Cross sign. Click on that, make your donation anywhere from $10 to $10,000, whatever you want to donate. It is all going to an amazingly good cause.
All directly to the Red Cross, right?
Yeah.
To the Red Cross, and specifically to the Red Cross typhoon relief efforts.
So your money is going directly into the hands.
Yeah, we don't touch it. It doesn't come to us first, not at all.
And
it
yeah,
goes
do not be worried
there.
that Campy is going directly to Vegas after this charity drive.
That's right.
They are non-related. They are
not
totally
related.
I didn't even think about that. Thank you for joining us on this fundraising drive. It just so happens that I'm leaving for Vegas in the morning. No, we're not. We don't even touch the money. We don't get to see 1 cent of what you're sending in. When you click on the Donate Now button, the money actually goes directly to the Red Cross Typhoon Relief Fund. Thanks for putting that doubt in people's heads.
No, it is. I mean, these sites like CrowdRise and Kickstarter and Indiegogo do a really good job of lining up directly with nonprofits to cut out the middleman. And if you see that it is supported by a nonprofit like the Red Cross, you can follow that, and you can know that your money is going to a good place. So,
and we're down
once
to
again,
one last drawing, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Anybody who wants that last drawing that I'm going to do, I'm down. I'm doing 9 so far. 10 is my limit as far as doing this because it's going to take me a couple days to draw them. So I won't be able to do them while we're at this.
I want to donate.
New media concert.
I want to donate and request that my drawing is 9 panels of the other drawings on the 8 by 11, like a dumbed down, smaller, like simplified sketch, just 9 of them.
Just so you know, I will not do that. So, and we'll leave that one open. If you really want one, I'll do one later. But let's leave that one for these guys. That's a good request, though.
Well, no, we can. You'll put the sketches up so I can make my own little collage of the 10 drawings.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
You're going to have to make the Wonder Woman Batman one in the center.
Yeah, exactly. With Dennis. Don't forget Dennis.
Dennis is in there, yeah. I don't know if Dennis is watching this right now.
And
but
guys,
if you are watching this,
it is done. Another $150 donation has come in from Corey Brown.
All right,
Corey. Who's written in. He's got another. He goes, I would like a picture of the AMC Movie Talk crew in the Breakfast Club poster pose.
Awesome.
With a new title of The AMC Crew. Maybe the anniversary on DVD someday as well.
That's a great kick-ass drawing that I will have
pretty
so
cool
much
drawing.
fun drawing. And that's thank you so much for contributing $150.
Corey, please email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. You see the email address down there. Include your mailing address and re-include what you'd like Schnepp to draw for you. And with your mailing address, your actual physical mailing address, so he can get it sent out to you as well. Please email that to us right away.
That is $1,500 worth of creativity that just happened in this past hour and a half that I've been a part of this show.
Guys, listen, and just to be clear here, guys, so everybody knows, the pictures are now done. He's got
unless I decide to add 5 more. I am going to add 5 more.
Are you serious?
I'm going to add 5 more. I will do it because we're doing this 24-hour thing, man. I'm not going to do it again, at least for a year or something, till another horrible thing happens, which I don't want to have happen. So this is all going for typhoon relief, and that makes me feel really happy that all you guys are putting in money to help for this cause. So it's me drawing something for you guys, and having that money go for the typhoon relief for the Philippines. It's my honor to draw something for anybody. So I'm going to put 5 more on the block. And that's really, literally, that really is it.
He's serious this time.
I'm serious this time. I did the 10 because I was like, hey, that'll be cool. But hey, it's helping towards the cause, so let's do it. 5 more.
Incredibly generous. I gotta say, I would love, I was joking about Adam West before, but I would love to see some Metalocalypse suggestions come in, only because, come on, you've got the guy. You've got the guy. I understand it's really cool, the concept of Red Hulk and everything else, but you've got the man behind it. You know what I know,
and literally for me to draw, I'm just saying, for me to draw all 5 members of Metalocalypse normally and ink them, it's like a G. $1,000. I'm telling you straight up, like I would pencil all 5 of them for like probably $300. Only now will you ever be able to get me to do the original characters that I created and sign a drawing for you for $150. It's never going to happen again. I'm just being straight up.
So anyway, that's what we've been talking. That's what we've been talking about. John Schnepp is doing these custom drawings for people that are able to donate at $150. I feel like this is a PBS Plus drive. For those of you able to donate at the $150 level, we have this lovely canvas tote bag.
I know, right?
But instead of a lovely canvas tote bag, it's an amazing one of a kind original John Schnepp masterpiece that you get to theme however you so desire.
All right, I'm sending out the last one. Oh, my neck is starting to kill me. Okay, we're going to take one more question, and then we are going to take a break, a 15-minute break, so we can soothe our sore throats and whatnot. The next question we are going to take, okay, where is it? Comes from Dennis Henna. And Dennis Henna writes, hey, AMC Movie Crew, I love the show. No disrespect to John and Dennis, but Schnepp is my guy. And Chris Lee is my girl. Anyway.
Thank you.
I always seem to be disappointed in certain casting choices of superheroes / villains and or the depiction of certain villains in superhero movies. For instance, Ian McKellen as Magneto. I've always hated that choice. Magneto was built like a bodybuilder in the cartoon and comic, yet is a frail old man in the movies. What the hell? Also, Juggernaut's depiction in X-Men 3. What was that? Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. She'd better hit the gym and eat a sandwich. John, Schnepp, and Dennis, or in this case, the Dennis role is being played right now by John Green. What are some of your most disappointing comic book character castings and or representations of comic book characters in a comic book movie?
We should call this segment My 3 Johns. Yeah. And then make up what you will.
Start with you guys.
Disappointing.
What comic book castings have you been really disappointed with, or depictions of certain characters?
Well, first of all, I would want to argue the case that the older Magneto I thought was great casting, and Ian McKellen really made a strong Magneto, and then they went back and you got Michael Fassbender playing the young Magneto. No, that is kick-ass casting. Sorry, I thought First Class was incredible, and what an amazing Magneto Fassbender made. So that's why I can't wait to see Days of Future Past and rolling right into X-Men Apocalypse. It's fantastic. Disappointing casting for me. Boy, you know, like Eric Bana is a great actor, but for some reason I couldn't get behind the Ang Lee Hulk. Yeah, it's kind of a
low hanging fruit.
Yeah, it's and I wouldn't,
or Halle Berry.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily blame Eric Bana for the Hulk, because the Hulk was just kind of a strange weirdo Ang Lee freak fest. I think it was like an interesting movie, but as for the Hulk, maybe not so much.
Were there any slow-mo doves in the first Hulk?
There were not, but there were Hulk dogs, which there was a Hulk poodle dog, which that's unforgettable. I don't know if it's unforgivable.
And unforgivable.
What do you think?
No, the second you said Eric, I was just like, yep, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I mean, the Catwoman, Halle's Catwoman.
Oh, for a second I thought you were talking about Storm, but yet I forgot Halle Berry as the weird, super sexy Catwoman. I loved looking at pictures of her as Catwoman. It was fantastic.
Costume design, phenomenal.
Seeing the actual movie, very painful.
Very rough.
Very weird. Yeah.
And I don't know if I don't know if the question translated to like on-screen depictions also, like the character in your mind's eye versus what actually appeared on screen.
Right, because he was mentioning the Juggernaut, which was like kind of a weird decision, because they went with that bizarre kind of latex body. Like it looked fake right off the bat. You're like, that's kind of strange, you know? And I think he's specifically talking about superhero failures, right?
Or just, I guess just the misrepresentation of what you would expect versus what you're presented with by the studio.
I think the very first Captain America film that was done in the 90s with, I think his name was Salinger. He played Captain America and had weird rubber ears. And very weird film in general, but he was strangely miscast, I think, as playing both Steve Rogers and Captain America. But then again, the entire film sucked, so I can't really blame him.
Campia, any thoughts?
Bad casting.
Taylor Mayne as Sabretooth.
Yeah.
In the first X-Men film. Another, I'm going to sound like I'm trying to rip open another argument here. Another example of hiring a non-actor to play a major comic book character gone wrong. Much like we have in store for us with Gal Gadot.
I don't know about that, but you know what? I'll support Taylor Mayne, or Tyler Mayne, I think.
Tyler Mayne, yeah.
But he didn't really have that much dialogue in the first film. He was kind of just grunty and the brute force kind of character. So I don't think he really was bad casting, so to speak.
But they were limited with what they could do. Once they put him in as Sabretooth, they were limited instantly to the grunting and the whatever. They couldn't, even if they wanted to try something different, something new, they couldn't, because he wasn't an actor, you know. And I
don't really think he got that chance to actually act, because then they replaced him with Liev Schreiber as Sabretooth in the X-Men.
With a real actor who could actually act. And the movie turned out terrible, but he played a great Sabretooth, I thought. So
yeah.
But that's the only one I can really think of off the top of my head is that's been really horrible. I mean, I'm not happy with it. Once again, I'm not happy with the Gal Gadot thing, but I can't say it's disappointing because it hasn't happened yet.
Rapid fire. What about spot on casting / representation? Just like actor meet role.
You know what? Even though every single nerd I've heard complain about Wolverine because he's 6 foot whatever and Wolverine's supposed to be 4 foot whatever, and I think Hugh Jackman inhabited that role and became
completely
Wolverine.
Owned it
in the very first X-Men, and he still owns it all the way up through this newest Wolverine. And I can't wait for every time he plays Wolverine. He is fantastic. Whether or not X-Men Origins or the new The Wolverine, just whatever what I think of those films, I still think he was incredible just playing Wolverine. And I think he brings so much to that role and to that character. If anyone else was playing him, instant drop. And like, if I was 80% and he wasn't in it, if someone else was playing Wolverine, it could have been a 40. I mean, he is Wolverine.
I'll go the easy route and say Ledger and Joker. I saw a GIF recently that was on the top of Reddit that was just a face morph it was like him before and after makeup, and I was just like, Jesus, like he was that character before he ever read in Batman.
You know the odd? I don't think I wouldn't say Heath Ledger. I think Heath Ledger kind of went in there and then really created his own Joker. As far as, because the way you posed the question to me was, what guy just nailed you casting? He's like, yes, that fits who it is. That fits. And I think Heath Ledger gave us a totally new
on screen.
Yeah,
just
but
like
on
nailing
screen,
the part.
I don't think he nailed what we thought and what we knew to be the Joker. I think Heath Ledger gave us a completely new Joker and gave us an amazing Joker. But right alongside Hugh Jackman, I'd have to obviously Robert Downey Jr. As Tony Stark. I think Chris Hemsworth as Thor has been inspired. I think that's really worked out very, very well.
Loki as well. I mean, what?
Oh yeah, so good.
Both of those guys, incredible.
And it's still funny to think that Tom Hiddleston was actually the reason they got him for Loki is because he was really close to getting the Thor role. He went up for the Thor role. They went with Chris Hemsworth instead. But it's like, what? We like this Tom Hiddleston guy, and he ends up stealing everything he's in now as Loki, and he steals the scenes. Yeah. It's amazing. From DC's point of view, I wouldn't say Christian Bale is Batman. He gave us a good Batman, but I never would look at him and go, hey, that's Batman.
Right. What about Morgan Freeman, though?
As Batman? No. As Lucius Fox?
Or, I'm forgetting Alfred. Who's the actor?
Michael Caine.
Yeah, Michael Caine. That's a pretty, that's actor meets role, no?
We were talking about that earlier, and I mentioned Michael Caine as like how I really, honestly, and I still feel this way, personally a little bit disappointed that they got Michael Caine because to me, Michael Caine is not an Alfred. He's such a great actor.
Right.
But I always felt it's like, why are you just giving him those 3 lines to be like, well, young Bruce, if you would just simply not be so angry and then schlimple off somewhere. You know what I mean? I always felt like he's
wasting the talent.
Yeah, but it was great to have like such an awesome dude play Alfred. But I always felt like, well, I feel like I'm getting shortchanged. There he is at the end, with his little, tea time for Alfred,
Okay, guys, we have more donations that have come in. We have a donation from Joseph Doloya, who donated $150, and he's John Schnepp picture. I want a DC versus Marvel picture. You know what? I know you'll say you do it. I'm gonna step in there. I'm gonna say, Joseph, give us another thing. That's way too much. You're asking him to draw like 20 characters.
Well, I thought he was saying...
That's too much.
I was reading that as draw somebody from DC versus
if you want, somebody from DC versus somebody from Marvel, that's totally cool.
Yeah, give me two characters, one from DC, one from Marvel. That would be awesome.
Okay, 1 second. Please email me.
Asking you to clarify your illustration request.
I hear another John Campea typing song, and it's happening now, because his mind is thinking the words that his fingers are typing.
And if we sing the song, he can't finish the sentence.
Because he's listening to us, and that's constricting his finger flow that goes through his brain, and the electricity, and the synapses firing.
Okay, and then and we have another one.
All right.
From... Okay, let's see this. Racy Elmo donated $220.
Racy, you are awesome.
From Australia.
Oh.
Which is like $400 Australian dollars.
That's right.
Or wait, no, it's maybe 100. Who knows?
I think that's 500 kangaroos.
Okay.
Did he he didn't put his request?
Well, this was in the initial contact. They don't fill that out, so that is coming through now. Wow, just
amazing generosity, guys.
Wow. So.
I'm now going to clear my throat for the next 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm getting told that we missed somebody. That Garrett Ferrani. And I'm looking in the list here. I've only seen Garrett Ferrani donating $50, which is an awesome donation, by the way. Right. Thank you, Garrett Ferrani. I see a $50 donation from Garrett Ferrani, but I don't see anything other. I will look into this and figure this out to see what the problem is.
Are they saying it was an illustration thing that we missed? An illustration donation?
Yes. Yeah, they're saying it's an illustration donation. Boy, guys, we're at now $20,710.
Nice.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do, guys. Look, I need to figure some stuff out. We need to get caught up here. It is now 2:40 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. We're going to take a bit of a break. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to take about a 20-minute break here while we reset everything. I'm going to get some house cleaning stuff taken care of here. So with your permission, we're going to take 20 minutes. I know this is a little bit longer than we normally have been doing. And then we will start the next live segment here in about 20 minutes. Again, guys, thank you so much. And don't forget, while you're waiting for us, head on over to crowdrise.com/AMC Movie News Philippines and make your donation. I need to look into some stuff here, make sure we get everything all straightened away. And we'll be back in about 20 minutes. Again, thank you so much. We'll talk to you in a few more minutes. See you soon.